One man, one chance for salvation, one hero.
Started from the bottom and I'll never look back. Look at all my haters, y'all making them mad.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Christmas Hero, the channel where a true hero lives. And I'm coming at you live on this nice sunny day. I honestly just got out of work, but I figured I might as well get this out of the way because people have been asking for my Nationals deck list. And to be honest, I was not about to post it because I was heavily debating YCS Sacramento. And since it's more than likely going to be the same format, I was actually thinking about taking the same list to YCS Sacramento. But after much thought and consideration, I'm pretty sure I probably won't go to YCS Sacramento, especially after the events that happened at this national. Pretty much, I technically should have been undefeated until round 5, but round 2 and round 5, I got some weird judge calls. And at first I was really mad about it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a break from the game. And actually I still think I'm gonna take a break from the game, still undecided kind of, but because it kind of sucks to travel to these events and to get basically judge called out of the tournament, because as you guys know, I play this game for fun. I don't play this game for the prizing, whatever prizing, that little prizing there is. My career lets me have the money I need to not have to play games for money. So when I do go to these events, I'm genuinely playing for fun, and it's not fun to get basically in he said, she said arguments or judge calls, and then for them to repeatedly not go in your favor. And it was very frustrating. For example, round 2 against Tempai, the guy was really nervous. I could tell, the judges could tell, and he couldn't remember what effects went off and what effects were used and all that stuff. So I don't think he was maliciously trying to do anything, but it came down to him trying to use Genroku twice, and the judges ended up ruling in my favor for that one because they ended up being like, well, hey, your story is contradicting and it doesn't make sense, so we have reason to believe you did use Genroku's effect. And then later on, when I tried to do DPE, the guy said I already used DPE when he was thinking of another turn, and the judges ruled on him because they said when he was telling one of the stories they said didn't make sense, by the way. The judges said they didn't make sense and ruled in my favor for the Genroku ruling, but they used that same story saying, well, since I didn't speak up when he said I used DP in that story, they have reason to believe that I used DP already. And I was like, well, I was focused on the Genroku, and you know, when you judge call, they tell you not to speak while the other person's talking. So that was another thing. So of course I'm not going to say nothing right then and there because you're not supposed to do that. But they ended up ruling in his favor, and it ended up costing me the game because it gave him that extra body for the Trident Dragon when I was playing for a DPE game. And then the second time around, I got slow played against a U-Bell player, intentionally doing it. One way I know he was intentionally doing it was throughout the whole game. You know how when you're playing a game, you don't really shuffle the deck until if there's no interruptions or anything, you don't shuffle the deck until you're done with your full combo, right? That's common. That's just to keep the pace of the game. That's not a new thing. We were doing that all set, but when it comes to the last and final game where there was only 11 minutes left, he was shuffling very intentionally between 5-6 times between every deck search as a UPL player. And it's like, okay, dude, I straight up called him out. I was like, hey man, you didn't do this at all during the rest of the set, so you don't need to do it now. Go ahead, do your thing. And he still kept doing it, and he even pointed out, oh well, the Ubel card says to shuffle, so I have to shuffle here. So I already knew he was up to some, tomfoolery. And basically, right before his time's called, the guy starts, even after I already asked the guy if he had any triggers he would like to use, he says no. And then when I go, okay, I'll play my Fusion Destiny, and after Fusion Destiny resolves, I'm going to go into battle phase. That's when he goes, oh, wait, I have triggers, but I already asked you that, dude. But unfortunately, the judge ruled in his favor because I think the judge was kind of flustered, and he seemed very flustered, and I didn't want to make the same mistake of not speaking up during the story, so I was doing that. So he probably thought I was being rude when I told him, I was like, no, hey, like, I made this mistake last time where I didn't say anything when I saw an inconsistency, so I'm saying it now. So he probably got the impression I was just like trying to be rude when I wasn't, when all I was doing was trying to point out inconsistencies. So the judge ended up ruling in the other guy's favor at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, I'm just gonna chalk it up to human error. At first I was like, these judges are kind of weird, but then I was like, okay, you know what? It's a long tournament, it's a big tournament. Even it seemed kind of disorganized, so I'm just gonna chalk it. It was going into 40 minutes between each round. I'm just gonna chalk it up to human error. But best believe if this keeps happening, I probably won't be playing this game for that much longer, and I'll definitely be very vocal about it, because stuff like this is what ruins the game. Like people slow playing intentionally, or judges kind of not getting their calls right. But like I said, we're all human, so I'm gonna just chalk it up to human error and just some bad luck. But then other than that, let's just go ahead and jump right into the deck profile. I think this deck was really good. I wasn't really scared of anything at the end of the day. Like I said, I should have been undefeated until round 5. Round 6, I played against somebody who was on Sprite Toad, and he was running a tech card Blizzard, and that ended up stopping one of my board breakers. So that was my one real loss, ironically. But who knows, if I was undefeated, I probably don't play against him, right? But here we go. We got the Destiny package. We're playing the Plasma. We're playing the Denier. And yeah, we're still playing the Dark Angel. This card is insane. It doesn't matter if they can out it. It just stops stupid stuff like Lightning Storm Imperm, which by the way happened twice to me when I couldn't get to the Dark Angel. And I'll tell you how I won those games, because I ended up winning those games. It was against Tempai. But when this does get on the field, you're usually in a very heavy winning position. And then of course we got the 3 Malicious. I was actually debating only running 2 Malicious, and that's because I felt like I was playing 58, I was playing 60, I was messing around my ratios 48. I ended up cutting down on it's a 45 card deck. I ended up cutting down on the deck because I knew once the Fiendsmith stuff dropped, even though it's not that good by itself, I knew people would go to Joel because they felt like Joel was the easy answer. But newsflash, guys, Joel isn't that good actually into Fiendsmith. They can actually set up 2 to 3 interruptions past it if the player knows what they're doing or opens correctly. So Joel's only good when you have Joel plus another card. But you know me, I don't like cards like that where you need Joel plus another specific card. I like cards where if you need another card with it, it can be a variety of cards, and that's how you beat variance, right? You make it to where the cards you draw can combo well with the other cards in your deck. So keep that in mind as I'm going through this deck profile, because that's a very common thing in this deck profile. And of course we have the Vision Hero package. We got the 3 Fairs, 3 Increase, and of course the double Vion. I don't think I need to really explain that there. And then of course we got the Cross Keeper still, the Neos, the Shadow Mist, the Liquid, and then of course 3 Stratos. I don't think I really need to explain this ratio. This is a very popular ratio outside of the Cross Keeper. Cross Keeper is still good. Anything that allows you to draw your non-engine is pretty good. And the next card is a tech card of mine. Or, you know what? No, I have to shout out Marcus. He's in the hero group. Marcus Schmind, I think that's how I say his name. He's from Germany. He's a hero player from Germany. I saw this in his deck list, and I asked what card it was, and he told me what card it was. And after reading it, I was like, yo, this card's pretty good. I should play it. And I did play this card over Daruma Cannon because, long story short, I was playing Daruma Cannon for the shifter decks, or when people would draw you. However, the deck I felt like was about to be the most popular shifter deck, besides Tempai, Ritual Beast, Daruma Cannon doesn't hurt. So I needed another card badly. And at first I was going to do Dimensional Barrier until I found out Tempai was doing a link package to play around Dimensional Barrier. So this is the card I decided on, and I was very happy about it. Simul Archfiends. If you have this card plus Dark Law or this card plus DPE, it's near impossible for your opponent to win. Tempai, Rich Release, any of those. Because not only do they have to deal with the Dark Law, they have to do it with basically a very limited extra deck. So I would definitely, this is a card I would say you guys should consider playing. And I played it in the main, and like I said, when I would get Lightning Stormed, I got Lightning Storm Imprint twice, and I actually opened this up with either Dark Law or DPE, and both times I ended up winning because of this. So it's very hard to get over a DPE with a limited extra deck, and it's very hard to get over a Dark Law with a limited extra deck. So we have to be resilient. We have to adapt and grow. And even though Daruma Cannon was my favorite trap card, I decided to switch it for this, and it wouldn't have done nothing versus the Lightning Storm. And Daruma Cannon wouldn't have done anything against Ritual Beast if I would have played it. This card definitely served its role. You already know I played the favorite contact with the continuous trap package. I don't think I really need to explain this here. Rival's are really good, and Gozen's even good against some of the boards, right? Like a lot of boards are setting up Apollosa with Fiendsmith stuff, so this kind of like breaks the board and helps it. And then if you go first, of course, I don't think I need to explain that there. All right, so we played 3 Droplet. This is my triple tactics package. Yes, instead of 2 thrusts, I went 2 talents, and that's because talents interacts better with the boards. And considering I felt like a lot of people were going to be on Fiendsmith Apollosa stuff, I wanted to keep the whole theory of steal their Apo, win the game. And this actually came up against the U-Bell player. I was actually cracking his board, and I was about to win, except, you know, the whole time shenanigans thing with the weird judge call. Because, and there's a side deck card I'm going to show you guys that I feel like everybody should be playing. I had this plus other board breakers, and I pretty much run 16 board breakers. I did not run hand traps. I only ran 1 hand trap, and you guys will see why. If you open this with a board breaker, you can pretty much break through almost any board, especially with the hero engine. At that point, you just kind of have to worry about their hand traps. So that's what I mean about like making it to where you don't want to run cards like Droll, where you have to open Imperm with it or have to open Ash with it. You want to run cards where if you open it with another card, it can be a variety of cards. Like I can open Droplet with any of these and do well. And moving on to my next picks, I can open Droplets or Talents with any of these. And then you're usually cracking a board. And yes, you guys saw that right. I did decide to run the 1 Book of Moon. Now, when I was testing out locals, I was running actually 3 books, 2 Eclipse. But I decided to switch to this ratio because 1, I went down to 45 instead of 48. So, and 2, I decided Book of Eclipse was way better for board breaking. But the reason I do have the 1 Book of Moon and the 3 Eclipse is actually during testing, I kept losing the Imperm, and I usually would not lose the Imperm, so I was wondering what changed throughout the history of me losing the Imperm. And then I realized, oh, it's because I cut the book cards. And the book cards were not only helping me break boards, it was helping me interact with my opponent and play past Imperm. So I decided to bump these back up to a minimum 4. I was pumping 5 for a while, and even 6, but that was when I was running the bigger deck list. So that's why I decided on this ratio. And believe it or not, this is actually good against stuff like Phantom and V-Bell and stuff. Or like, this is an old ideology where you want to like force the Omni or get rid of the Omni and then do any of your board breakers. So even if you flip the Varudas, you can go ahead and go Talents and steal an Apo. And that's always pretty good, guys. Like, it just helps with the board breakonomics. And of course, these cards help you play around Imperm, and they combo well with Droplets. So that's what I mean about having deck synergy, guys. Of course, we have our engine pieces. We got the Hero Lives, and then we got the Fusion Destiny. Yeah, 3/3. And then since I am running the book cards to dodge Imperm, I decided to cut this down, and that's how I was able to cut it to 45 and put the 3rd Mally. I just took out a mash change because I was like, I'm already running the book cards to kind of dodge Imperm, and even though Dark Law is the law, we can definitely still combo into him. And this card isn't as good going 2nd. So I decided to cut it to 1, and I was actually pretty happy with it. I might go back to 2. I might stay at 1, depends. Of course, we play the 1 Poly, the 1 Miracle Fusion, and of course the Rhoda and Foolish, and that makes 45. Now here's my extra deck. I don't think I really need to explain much here. Shining Neos, Wake Up, Infernal Rage, Sunrise. And yes, we play Ab-Zero. Ab-Zero is really good. It helps you for breaking these boards. It helps with the crackback. And there's even cute places where you can favor contact into him and go him in case for some reason you couldn't get to this. And now their board has to deal with an extra board wipe. And stuff like that is really good. I was going to cut him, but especially with the 4 Book of Moons and cards like that, I found myself going into him a lot and clearing people's boards. And there's also a side deck card I'm running, which you guys will see pretty soon, that synergizes pretty well with him. So you guys will see that. I ran the double, you gotta obey the law. Dark Law's king right now. Master Hero Blast. And it's me, DPE. I don't think I need to explain those there. And yeah, guys, I don't know why I'm seeing people drop this from their deck, especially since it's kind of a link crazy format. Vision Hero Trinity, Fusion Destiny equals, as you guys saw on my short, equals DPE Trinity and a draw 2. Like, I'm not capping when I say this card is good, especially since Fusion Destiny is a card. I've been noticing a lot of people say they need more power out of their Fusion Destiny. Well, this is it. Dark Angel, Plasma, and Trinity, they add the layers that you need to Fusion Destiny. So you can have Fusion Destiny either be a spell negate with DPE, you can have it be an OTK machine with Trinity and DPE, or you can have it be a lockout card with Plasma DPE. Either way, like, I feel like cards like those just add too much layers to your Fusion Destiny. And of course we got the Wonder himself next to the double Cross Crusader, sorry, and then the Infernal Devicer. I don't think I need to explain those. You guys know the key combo piece starters. And of course, E-Hero Baguska. There were times at locals where I tested without Baguska, and then I would get shifted, and then I'd immediately regret it. So I played him, and he actually did come up against Tempa. I got shifted. I immediately went E-Hero Baguska, and the guy was like, dang, that's pretty good. And I ended up winning because Baguska bought me that turn. So yeah, and especially against Ritual Beast. It's good against Ritual Beast too. So yeah, I don't think I need to keep explaining this card. This is basically turns a hero lives into an out to droll and out to shifter. So all right, so here's the side deck and the much anticipated card I've been waiting to talk to you guys about, Mold Charming Perulia. So I had a revelation the day before flying out the Nationals at how good this card was. I used to think this card was really bad, but it turns out that this card is really good because against every deck you're drawing at least like 2 to 3. And it makes it to where it basically, if they combo off, you're catching up for their combo game. So by being able to like draw 2 or 3, like Snake Eyes Fiend, stuff like Ritual Beast where you're drawing 4 to 6, which is also a bad matchup for us because they have Shifter and their board's pretty good with Colossus where you're drawing 4 to 6, you can draw your breakers. Even against Yubel, you're drawing 2 to 3. It's pretty much free cards going second. And then as I said earlier, with Absolute Zero, it's a water. So it synergizes pretty well with the deck. And being able to draw my breakers, or if you're on hand traps, you can draw your hand traps. This card's good. It's max C. Even though it only does hand effects, if you sit down and break down the combos, literally every combo gets you 2 to 3. So even our combo, like Ferris, normal summon, Crosskeeper, you're drawing 2 to 3. Like that's pretty significant, and then you're drawing for turn. So don't forget that. So this card is just really insane. I felt like if you weren't running it, you were behind. The proof is in the pudding. Look at the top 4 from the NAWCQ, and you'll see that 3 out of top 4 people were running it. So I don't think results don't lie. Called by the Grave, I don't think I need to explain that. And yes, I cited the 2 mass change because this card, you guys already know, I would always cite the 1, but I'm pretty sure I'm always going to keep 3 in my deck as long as Dark Law is good, because it's just too good going first to dodge Imperm Veilers and then set up a Dark Law after. It just trades way too good. Change of Heart, this goes into the whole theory of taking their Apollosa and drawing your board breakers going second. It just makes it too easy to OTK or break a board. And this is one of the cards when I did the Yubel guy. Oh, Yubel, by the way, they summon Grave Squirmer. They, if they go their normal Beckoning Beast combo, you're drawing like 4 off of that. So yeah, I drew a bunch when he did that combo, and I just had stuff like Change of Heart, Talents, and Book of Eclipse, and he was just cooked. It's just, you know, he wanted to stall for time when he realized he was cooked. So it is what it is. And then Lightning Storm. This is the card I decided on last minute, and I was very happy with this because a lot of people are citing into floods like Skill Drain, especially Snake Eyes variants, and you want this card against Yubel to clear their back row. So, and that's one of the cards I drew as well off of the Perulia when I did the Yubel. So this, I don't think I need to explain this. Everybody knows how good it is, and this is my first time taking it to a big event, and I was very happy I brought it. I am still citing the deck lockdowns. This is just really good against every single deck right now, especially Ritual Beasts, Tempai, all of that kind of stuff. Yubel, Snake Eyes Fiend. So if they're gonna end our turn, we gotta end theirs, right? And then 3 evenly matched. This was actually the card I least cited in against, only because I played a bunch of Tempai. But against every other deck is pretty good. I don't think I really need to explain it. We know how good evenly matched is. But there's my deck profile, guys. If I do go to YCS Sacramento, I'll either take this or something very similar to it. Leading up to the format, I was very scared of Despia. I was very scared of Ritual Beast. But this card literally solos Ritual Beast by letting you net 4 to 6, and drawing your board breakers. And it synergizes very well with the rest of the deck of just drawing your breakers, like, I feel like this is a card you need to run. And then I was scared of Despia, but as you notice, I'm not playing Ash. I realized there's not that many Despia that make it at the end of the day, and if I play against it, there's some matchups where you just kind of have to win the roll, especially in a tier 0 format. I'd rather be more prepared for tier 0 than worry about every single deck and spread my deck too thin. So that's what I did. That's why I went all breakers like this, except for the floods, of course. Post side, I have 16 breakers in total in a 45 card deck, so it makes drawing 2 very easy, especially when you consider Hero Lives and Fusion Destiny, things that baits out negates too. So there's my deck profile. I hope it helped, guys. Christmas Hero out.